do this. All right. Yeah, we need to fix that clock one of these days. So we recording? Okay. Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the WCW November meeting. It is November 5th, 6:29. Madam Clerk, could you please take roll call?
Director Alvarado.
Here.
Director King Meredith. Here. Director Weiner.
Present.
Suddeth. President Rentila.
Here.
We have a quorum with all 5 members present.
Thank you. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and you may observe a moment of silence, seated or standing. Director Alvarado, please lead us through the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, I will. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
General Counsel Nicole Witt will serve as our parliamentarian for tonight's meeting.
As a reminder to members of the public in attendance, the board has adopted rules governing the conduct of its public meetings. Public participation is welcome and encouraged. All public comments should be addressed to the board as a body, and the board asks that you please respect the 3-minute time limit per speaker. All persons attending board meetings shall observe the rules. Any additional rules the board may establish and the orders of the president with respect to the conduct of the meeting. No person may disrupt or disturb the board meeting. Disturbing, impeding, or otherwise preventing the orderly conduct of the meeting could result in the individual's removal from the meeting.
Thank you. Directors, before we begin with tonight's meeting, I ask that you be mindful of the board's rules of decorum, in particular to practice civility and decorum in discussions and debate. In order to preserve the order of this and every board meeting, directors will wait to speak until they are recognized and will restrict their comments to the motion or the agenda item under consideration. Thank you. So now is the time for public comment on items not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak for tonight's meeting?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on non-agenda items, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you. General Manager Andrew Clow, please lead us through the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. President. The consent calendar consists of items 1 and 2 on the agenda. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on these items?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on consent calendar items, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members of the board? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar items 1 and 2.
So moved.
I'll second it. Madam Clerk?
On the motion by Director Alvarado and seconded by President Rentila to approve consent calendar items 1 and 2, those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 3, to receive a presentation on the fiscal year 2026 to 2030 strategic plan implementation plan. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
He'll self-introduce.
All right. Good evening, Justin Lovell, Deputy General Manager. I'm going to go over tonight the implementation plan of our fiscal year 2026 to 2030 strategic implementation plan. So just briefly, just to let's see, make sure this is on. There we go. So I'll just go over briefly the adopted 5-year strategic plan. I will touch on examples of some of the milestones that we are working towards implementing and talk about key performance indicators that we will start tracking and give you some examples. This is not going to be an exclusive or exhaustive list. It's not going to cover everything we're going to do. And I'll talk a little bit about next steps and happy to answer any questions at the end of the presentation. So just as a reminder, the board adopted our current 5-year strategic plan covering fiscal year 2026 to 2030. And this was after a several-month process. You know, as you recall, the board, you approved a contract with Reftelis Financial Consultants, and we had Nancy Hetrick with Reftelis lead us through updating the strategic plan. We had a workshop with the board. We had several meetings with staff at all different levels to look at how we want to, how that strategic plan is going to be updated and what items we wanted to address. So at the top of the strategic plan is what's covered is the vision, mission, and values. I won't read them, but as the board, you've made some edits and tweaks onto under the current strategic plan. So just you know, as the highest level, as I'll read the vision, is that we're a regional leader championing environmental stewardship, resource recovery, innovative solutions, and community engagement. So along with that, we have our mission as well as our 6 core values that stayed the same from our previous strategic plan. So now I'm just going to go through each of the 6 goals of the strategic plan and talk about some of the milestones. So what have we been doing as staff since the board, since you adopted the strategic plan in July? We've been working on an implementation plan. So this was the last task with the Reftelis contract. Nancy has worked with us on the executive leadership team to develop milestones under each of the objectives. We really focused on the first 12 to 18 months of the strategic plan, recognizing that there's under each goal and every objective, there's a lot of areas and very specific projects that we are working on currently or that we may work on in the next several years. But this is a 5-year plan, and so we recognize we don't have the bandwidth to do everything all at once in the first year. So I want to just give you a few examples of things that are working, and some of these milestones we're actively working to complete, or they're actually nearly complete right now. So our first goal is infrastructure optimization. So it's adopt infrastructure maintenance and modernization strategies that maximize performance, reduce risk, and ensure reliable service in collaboration with local, regional, and national partners to further the mission of the district. So some of the milestones. So the milestones are the items that go directly under the objectives. And so that's the specific task that us as staff are working on that are going to further the meeting those objectives and the goals within the strategic plan. So a few examples of this is installing new security camera and access control systems at Hilltop and our water quality and resource recovery plant. That project is actually almost done. We're, I don't know if you've noticed as you walk in, there's a little box right outside the door. So that is an intercom, so somebody can come and press a button. We can remotely unlock the door. Those are things we didn't have before. And so now we have better utilization of technology. And so that we're anticipating to have that project, at least all the installation of all the cameras wrapped up in the next, about in the next week or so. And then we'll be just tweaking the settings, you know, for alarm and making sure everybody has the correct access. The other one that this is pretty much is complete, we're all ready for implementation, is the negotiations for Republic Services and West County Landfill Exchange of Services Agreement that was recently adopted by the board. We're just finalizing some items before the contract is executed. Another example is complete force main assessment. It's been an active, ongoing capital project. And then an additional one for an out year is install cameras and other security measures at key lift stations. So and there's some additional projects that will come to the IOE committee and the board in the coming months of some additional security measures that we're looking to implement at lift stations, like protecting our solar facilities that were recently installed as part of the Clean and Green project. A couple of the examples of key performance indicators, because we're recognizing as we are gathering large amounts of data, we've had those discussions in the last couple months about some of the data that we're collecting and using data to make data-driven and data-informed decisions. So these are just some examples of key performance indicators that we will be reporting on in the future once we gather some more information. One example is project delivery success rate. So as you know, is the project delivered on time, on budget? That example. Sewer main breaks per 100 miles. So that, you know, when there's a kind of another way of saying if there's a sanitary sewer overflow per 100 miles of sewer line. As we're continuing to use our computerized management maintenance system, so CMMS system, we are tracking more of our work orders, and so now we can start looking at it. How many work orders were preventative and how many work orders were reactive, like something broke and we had to go fix it. And so now we can have a ratio and we can start monitoring over time to see if we're making progress. Are we doing more preventative maintenance versus reactive maintenance? And so, and then the other one is how long did it take to complete a work order from the time that it was initiated, from the time that it finished? So these are just data points that we can come back and report back to the board. Goal 2 is environmental leader. So it's be an environmental steward in our community through a commitment to reducing carbon emissions, maximizing resource recovery and energy production, minimizing environmental impact, and making significant strides toward becoming a carbon negative, net negative enterprise. So a few of the examples of milestones that we're working on is monitor the types of biosolids created and the location of disposal. So as just to recall, as part of the Clean and Green project, we will be producing biosolids. That will be happening very soon. And there are, I won't get into the nuances of, there's Class A and Class B biosolids. Class A is a drier product, and that's where our goal is to produce Class A biosolids, but there will be occasions where, you know, when we're doing startup that will have a certain percentage of Class B at the initial startup. And so we're going to be able to start monitoring how much of that is being produced and where are those biosolids being disposed of, and that's part of the agreement with Republic Services, that we're going to be able to start tracking that information. We're going to complete updating the greenhouse gas inventory and tracking. So there was a climate action plan the board adopted several years ago, and it's just continuing to update it and monitor where we are with the greenhouse gas emissions produced from our uses. Complete the zero emission vehicle transition plan. So we've had a presentation recently with a consultant that was helping us review our compliance with the CARB Advanced Clean Fleet program, which is the medium and heavy duty vehicles and the requirements from CARB of what vehicles will need to be replaced with zero emission vehicles. And so that will help inform, you know, how quickly and what vehicles, when they're due for replacement, which vehicles we will be able to replace with zero emission options. And then the other one is develop a fleet management plan and monitoring vehicle usage. We want to make sure we have the correct vehicles for the type of use and that where that staff needs, and we want to make sure we don't have more vehicles than are needed, but we want to make sure we have enough to cover, you know, any unforeseen emergency or any other condition, and that we have the right mix of zero emission vehicles as well, so we can comply with this goal is reducing carbon emissions. Some examples of key performance indicators under this goal would be the percentage of biosolids beneficially reused. We know that the Class A biosolids could be used for, you know, mixing with compost facilities or other beneficial uses, and so we'll be able to start tracking that and providing that back to the board. When the Clean and Green project is fully online, we're already producing solar, but there'll be a cogeneration system, there'll be a battery backup. We'll be able to report back to the board about the percent of renewable energy use across the West County wastewater facilities. And the other one is the percent of effluent recycled. As you recall, many East Bay mud takes a majority of our secondary effluent and it goes to either their North Richmond facility or to the Rare facility that is further treated and used at the Chevron refinery for their cooling towers. And so we can provide that data of what percentage of our effluent is being recycled. Goal 3 is integrated systems and innovative solutions. So that is identify and leverage information and data management systems to ensure responsible infrastructure management and promote an effective and innovative organization. So a few of the examples of milestones include adopted AI policy. That will actually be coming to the board very soon. We've already discussed the AI policy with the Finance Administration Committee. Updating the general manager monthly report. Developing data management standards for the organization. So we specify how and what we're tracking. And then develop and regularly utilize the CMMS status report system. So as I mentioned about work orders, as we continue to further utilize the power within their CMMS system, we'll be able to continue reporting and get more data about how we are operating. And so a couple of examples of key performance indicators include AI use policy compliance, cybersecurity incidents resolved, IT system uptime, GIS asset mapping accuracy, and SCADA system uptime. Because a lot of these systems, it's actually very important and critical to how we operate, that they are functioning and that they are online 100% of the time. And we can start tracking that. And if there's any instances where they're not on set, where they're not online, we can look at reasons why and what we can do to mitigate those things in the future. Goal 4 is organizational capacity and development. Recruit, develop, inspire, and retain employees who embrace West County Wastewater's values and culture while also providing a working environment that supports and rewards their efforts. A few of the examples of the milestones under this goal include update and formalize remote working agreements, establish tour and ride-along and job shadowing protocols throughout the organization, link selection evaluation criteria to core values, establish an internship program, coordinate workforce development opportunities with industry partners. And so a lot of these, we're already working on them, and they're ongoing, such as the internship program. We've been working actively with Baywork for the last year. We have existing interns through Baywork. We're looking at having more interns through Baywork, and we're looking at expanding the internship program within the organization. So there'll be more to come, but these are just something that is where we continue to increase our efforts of really growing the pipeline of staff and getting more people introduced into the wastewater industry. A few key performance indicators include employee retention rate. We talked a lot about that at our closeout of the last 5-year strategic plan. Training hours per employee, succession coverage ratio, so how many people are really training or in there. Lost time injury rate, another milestone just to make sure is we've been working very hard on ensuring that our safety culture of safety continues to grow, and so that's just one of those measures to make sure that we are how are we doing with that measure. Goal 5, fiscal responsibility. Promote financial policies and practices that support sustainability, integrity, innovation, and fiscal responsibility. So a few of these milestones that we've talked about. For some of these with the F&A committee recently, provide reports on debt coverage ratio twice per year, issue Prop 218 notice and hold public hearing on the 5-year sewer rate plan. So as we've discussed with the board, that is going to be coming up in the next several months. And maintain financial forecasts for a 5-year and 10-year outlook, because really at the end of the day is our financial sustainability within the organization is going to help us continue to pay for the operations and invest in the capital infrastructure that we need to. There's a couple key performance indicators related to this goal is debt service coverage ratio, operating costs per MGD treated, and any external funding secured. Goal 6 is our last goal, is engagement, partnerships, and advocacy. So engage with the community, enhancing the image of West County Wastewater and building awareness of our role in keeping the community healthy. A few example milestones include creating a North Richmond Living Levee and Collaborative Shoreline Plan project webpage. That one's actually completed. We do have that webpage live. Develop strategies to increase community awareness and direct resident communication. So that's something we're continuing to evaluate on how we can improve and increase community awareness about what we do at West County Wastewater. And then build community awareness around spill response plans. So if somebody does see a sewer overflow, what do they do? Who do they call? And making sure that we can go and address those issues as quickly as possible. And so a few key performance indicators include the number of outreach events held, amount of PIPES program participation. So as you recall, the board has authorized $400,000 a year towards the PIPES program. And so we can look at what's the total dollar value of PIPES program participants, or how many households have participated in the program. And the other indicator is customer calls and service request response time. So if somebody comes in or they have a question about any one of our programs, we're starting to monitor, how quickly that their question or it can be addressed. With that, I'd like to just kind of wrap it up. So this is not every single milestone that we have. We actually have a really long list. This is just a sample of the things that we're working on towards strategic plan. We're 1 quarter in. We're 4 months into this 5-year plan, so we're just barely getting started. And there's quite a bit more work to do, but we've already made significant strides on kind of just baking into what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, along with our daily activities of collecting and treating wastewater. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Questions, Director Wiener? Director King Meredith?
The very last one, the goal that you just presented for engagement, partnership, and advocacy. To create a North Richmond Levee, living levee collaborative shoreline and the project webpage. Are you familiar with the collaborative that Supervisor John Joy has on monthly with the shoreline collaborative? They're always switching up.
I'm familiar with the ad hoc or the committee that he has, but I know there's a lot of activity related to shoreline resilience and adaptation. I don't know all the nuances I'm not involved in every single one, but I know many of our staff who are involved more closely with this. Yeah.
I guess, to be also a caveat to sort of, and I'll get more information.
Sure.
Matter of fact, I just got an email notice, and every time you turn around, they say, it's canceled, or they move on to the next one, and they move to the next one, so you really don't know, it's kind of confusing. But what I will do, I'll give you that information.
Sure.
So we can look it up, and then also be on the website, seeing what West County is doing, as created a website so they can see we're all working together.
Yeah. Great.
So the comment is at this point.
Sure. You're welcome. Thank you.
Director Alvarado?
No, I'm good, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Vice President Sedith?
Thank you. Couple of questions. Thank you, Justin. Good presentation, and to the staff for helping put it together. A couple of questions. I did notice the camera when it came in, the box
Oh, yes.
outside, and my only question is for those of us who are challenged in height. It's kind of hard to
tall.
reach it. So I just wanted to note that. It's a little high. So we might want to just adjust that part. And for the reporting, when we talk about the reporting on the KPIs, I think I just wanted to see, so when will that be, like, tie that into something? Like, because it says it, right? The key performance indicators say that we will know based on, let me just give you an example, right? We'll report, there was one about biosolids. Okay. Goal 2, the percent of biosolids beneficially reused, or the percent of renewable energy used, or the percent of effluent recycled, right? That's a key performance indicator, but how will we know that? And I think that that's like, it's a key performance indicator, but a key performance indicator is told to us in some way, right? So it's reported somehow, right?
Yeah, so we would be, as part of status updates on our strategic plan, these are examples of the KPIs that would be reported back to the board.
I just wanted you to
So
say it.
yeah, just so it's, yeah, so this is, there'll be some context when this is not the number, right? This is an example of what it would look like, but when we
Yeah.
do give the reports back to the board on status updates, these are examples. And some of this information we won't have immediately. It might not be for the first update. It might be the second or third update before we really get some of these numbers squared away.
I just wanted you to say it for the record, that these would come as periodic updates as the information is available,
Right.
right? So I just wanted to say it for the record that we would be getting periodic updates, whether it's through the GM's report or your periodic strategic plan reports, right?
Correct, right.
As the information is available. So I think that that's kind of, maybe that's the caveat that needs to be here somewhere. You know, the little tiny print, the little star or asterisk, whatever you call it, as the information is available so that it's not expected with every report. That we won't, it may be a while before we see biosolids beneficially reused.
Sure.
Or when we see, you know, the percent of renewable energy used because we're just getting the Clean and Green project up and running. We may see one, but not the other. But I don't want the public to think that they see on the news, oh, they opened the Clean and Green. Where's this report on clean energy? And it may be a, you know, a year look back.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
So-
yeah, so this information will not be, not all of it is going to be available a
Right
month
away.
from now. Some of it may be 2 years from now is when we'll start being able to report it. And then it's where there's the power is looking at it over a period of time. So once we're able to start regularly, it could be 2 years from now, and then a year later, and then a year later, as we get further along in the strategic plan process. By the end of the 5 years, we will have a significant amount of data, and we'll have trend lines with some of these KPIs. But
Yes.
we don't have it yet. It's gonna take us some time.
I just wanted you to say it for the record, since I don't want somebody to see, you know, fiscal year completion and then KPIs and be like, wait, where's my report? So,
Right.
thank you. Es todo.
Thank you. My questions are, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about our safety culture, because I know complacency can be a real big issue with injuries and safety. And I was wondering if we have any type of incentive program or, you know, awards or anything like that regarding safety. I know we're a smaller.
Yeah, not necessarily monetary rewards for the safe culture.
Not
I mean,
T-shirts or-
we have an ongoing safety committee, right? They're meeting regularly. We're ensuring that staff have the appropriate training at the right frequency and the right interval. You know, like just last week, we had a group taking CPR classes because it's that time. You know, there's time to renew their CPR. So with those, not, I say like monetary, it's more of just trying to ensure that our daily practices, we're following what's the best safety, and if Aaron has any specific thing he wants to talk about, but, or General Manager Cloud.
You could talk about the celebration we had and our awards and.
Yeah, we do yeah, so on an annual basis, we do have a, recognition, recognize our staff for, whether it's for the core values or for how they are within and recognizing the efforts that staff have. Even I was just thinking, encouraging as an activity we had when we had our employee celebration, it was a safety themed, kind of like what's the correct PPE, so personal protective equipment for this type of work, right? And so here's all your options, what's the correct thing? So we are doing that as encouraging, just a reminder, like there's certain situations where it requires certain safety gear and that some require others. So yeah, it's something that we're working on, but it's, long training, long even just recognition and some games to it just helps reinforce how we need to make sure that we're continuing to encourage safety in the organization.
We were trying to prompt you for one more. We had the specific safety celebration. And I don't know, somebody else want to talk about that we had? It wasn't the employee core we had.
I am a.
Here he comes.
A-
We're confused.
Aaron's gonna
We have
Aaron's gonna
so
remind me.
many events.
We do.
They all blur together.
Right?
Aaron's going to remind me on this one.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope I can remind you correctly. Aaron Weiner, Director of Water Quality and Resource Recovery. We had an all-hands meeting just a month ago, and I think it was just past 3 years without a lost time or recordable for. Sure, and that metric was for the CSO group. So we do track by group, and just for example, water quality at this point, I think is just at 1.5 years without a recordable. So those are the things that we're talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. I had to refresh my memory. I know it was recently, but yes, thank you.
That's all great news, and
Yeah.
I think the public should hear that. I mean, we covet our employees, and we want them to be safe and continue their education. I also wanted to ask you about the milestones. Are you comfortable in saying that we've met all our milestones in a prompt and fashion, in timely fashion?
Well, I mean, some of them they get pushed off because there's different priorities and things that happen, and whether staffing. So talking about our last 5-year strategic plan, we didn't meet every single milestone that we had set out. Some of them got pushed out, some of them got rolled over into this strategic plan. We're ambitious. We're trying to be realistic on what we can actually accomplish because there's only so many of us within the organization. We've done a tremendous deal of work these last several years, and we're going to continue that trajectory. I think our capacity to deliver has increased over these last several years. We're ambitious, and we like to be optimistic that we're going to complete everything we set out to, but sometimes, we do have our day-to-day job. The strategic plan is in addition to what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, because we're trying to move the needle in the organization. So it's a long way of saying is we try our best to meet all our milestones, but some milestones, for different reasons, may get reprioritized and become a lower priority.
And I'll give a shorter version, that you were referring to the previous 5-year strategic plan. And no, we did not accomplish all of the milestones, nor did we expect that we would, or in the new one as well, because as Justin pointed out, it is the strategic plan guiding the direction of the agency. There's a lot more certainty to the first couple of years of the plan. It gets a little less certain as you go further out. And it doesn't represent, each of those milestones does not represent a very large portion of our work that just happens all the time. Some of it's represented then in the key performance indicators. But I don't remember when we were doing the strategic plan, the different reporting, we had one of the consultants in here, and he said if you accomplished somewhere around the 50% or something of your milestones in your strategic plan, you're above average. We're well above average.
Yes.
That I can say, in that we tried to create realistic milestones in line with the goals identified by the board. But no, we won't, I can say for sure, we will not meet all of the milestones we've identified in this 5-year plan. But we'll do the best we can, and there will be some that will get added. Try not to do too much of that, but conditions change. Certainly, COVID was a good example of that. Changed a lot of things in directions of what we had to do and focus and put our efforts on. But it gives us something that we can use as the guide from which we make those adjustments.
Thank you. I do look forward to the conversation regarding AI. I know that the city of Richmond has experienced some unexpected issues with AI. I could talk to you more about it offline. But, and lastly, what do we foresee for the rainy season this year as far as milestones? I'm sure the rain can change things pretty rapidly.
It can't, some of the milestones are not dependent on, how the weather is, because they're more administrative in nature,
Yeah.
but some of the milestones, yeah, it's going to depend on the weather. So that, I don't know exactly how the rainy season's going to play out this year. The Farmer's Almanac is the best I can do, but until we...
No dowsing rods?
Yeah, no. So we just, we're prepared as we can for operations, for the wet weather, but
I think there is a word missing on goal 6, the key performance indicators. Is it that, is the amount of PIPES program participants?
yes, yeah, that would be a type. So of amount of PIPES program spent, or it would be the number of PIPES program participants.
Okay.
So we can correct that as looking at what's the best way to monitor, the use of the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Es todo. Gracias.
Thank you for your presentation. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you, Justin. All right. So next on the agenda is regular calendar item 4, to adopt the community funding policy. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on item 4, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
President Renteria, did you want to ask for input or feedback from the Finance Committee, or have Justin do the introduction first?
Perhaps you could do your introductions first?
Yeah. Well, good evening again, Justin Lovell, Deputy General Manager. Just as a quick introduction to this item, this was brought forward by the Finance Administration Committee to set some guidelines and parameters around sponsorships and donations for community events, programs. This has been it's been a couple months since we went to the F&A committee. It was June, just a reminder. I did have to go back and look, because you gave me some leeway. You said I don't need it to the board immediately, so I wanted to make sure we didn't take too long before we came back. So it was June, so it's been about 4 months since we presented this to the Finance and Administration Committee. But so just briefly, we've discussed this policy with the committee. The F&A committee did have several suggestions and clarifications that I believe we've made with this draft policy, and it outlines sort of what are the parameters for how requests are made, as well as dollar thresholds, and then when would that come to the F&A committee and when would it come to the board. So with that, that's just really a very high level. I don't know if we had our chair of the F&A committee or committee members ready to speak for it. I think that kind of gives us a quick introduction, and then you can be ready for your discussion.
Okay, thank you.
So Vice President Sadet, as Chair of the Finance Committee, is there anything you'd like to add to the conversation?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for reminding me it was in June, because then I had to look for my notes. Yes. Director King Meredith, do Do you have anything before I speak?
Not right now, I'm trying to find it, but I know it was
It was
back
June
in-
17th.
Yeah, June 7th in
June
my book.
17th.
I'll let you preside on it, and I'll
Yeah.
pick up when I,
Yeah,
It's
thank you for
something.
making the revisions that we asked for. So to the rest of the board, we had a fairly robust discussion about this policy, chiefly to empower the staff to make some decisions on our behalf for routine contributions to organizations that we regularly support. With most of the thresholds that are $5,000, up to $5,000, and those that require more to come to the board. And then even for those donations that meet that $5,000 threshold, to report it in the general manager's report, to let us know what that was. Most of what we've been supporting, the general manager has been using his discretion for, organizations like CASA and the Aqua Foundation Fund, organizations that traditionally do the business of WCW, but also have scholarship for people who are looking to work in this industry or do research in this industry, or where we have a desire to have a presence at an event or a conference where it would benefit the district. Some of the things that we were looking for, that we spoke about, that you'll see in this policy, included having standards that general counsel may have to be involved in. Is making sure that the WCW logo placement and any type of sponsorship, that our name, logo, likeness, anything of that nature meets our standards, if that is included in that type of funding. Sorry, my voice is, yeah. What we've asked for is we would have an application that would come to if it comes through the board, we would send those requests through the general manager's office. And if the board has a connection or information to provide, we would add the history and the connection to WCW, so that the general manager, if it's under the threshold and within the approval authority of the general manager, would have something to consider. Are there any promo items are any promo items being requested from the board? Sometimes when we're asked to support an event, sometimes it's not money. They're asking us for promotional items, which has happened before with several of the events some of us have supported. Sometimes they're just asking us for in-kind support, promo items. And so we ask for that clarification in this policy. What else? I think that's pretty much it, because they did a great job of incorporating all of our recommendations, including the website, press release, and social media concerns as part of the acknowledgement of any contribution or in-kind, meeting in-kind request. Director King Meredith, anything else? Anything else?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And one of the things that, as Chair Sutter has mentioned, is when we're out and actually going to events, that usually we like to more or less be prepared to actually present our agency, West County Wastewater. And by doing this, sometimes when we have to order things, we usually have to purchase before and then have a reimbursement. That's one of the things that we really want to have in place for purchasing and to have different things to be presented when we go out and table at different events. So when we talked about this, we just wanted to have a policy in place to make sure that we were covered whenever this was being done. But besides that, President, our chair has covered just about what we had talked about in the Finance Committee meeting.
Yeah, and that's defined in the, if you look at the definitions that was added to the policy, you'll see the different type of fundings that are covered under the policy. And what's not covered, which is even more important.
Okay.
Es todo.
Thank you. So do we have any questions? Director Wiener? Comments?
So, having looked at it a couple times, I don't have any opinions or changes that I would make. But I would ask that since we're formalizing something that has been informally done, that we track it, maybe have an annual listing of all of the activities and things that were covered under the community funding policy that we did, because we may not do all of them, and we may do some of them a lot. And I'd like to see how that all plays out over time so we can come back and visit this again and maybe formalize it or add things to it that we didn't consider. So that would be my only comment. I don't have, again, I don't have any objection to the policy per se.
Mr. President?
Thank you.
Could I just, on that point, Director Wiener, so you're absolutely right, and there's the sort of final item allows for that periodic review, so the policy comes back to the board every 2 years to assess how it's working, how it's aligning with your strategic plan. And then in addition to that, the general manager is providing semi-annual reports up to quarterly on all of these, so you all will be getting that information regularly, and then there's that opportunity that you're talking about to, you know, look at the policy holistically and decide, is this doing what we want it to be doing?
Thank you. Anything to add? Director Wiener, you good?
No, that was it.
All right. Director Alvarado?
I think policy is great to have in place, and I just, I hope that people take advantage of this and that people know about it.
Well, I want to thank everybody for all your hard work. Greatly appreciated. Before we ask to move this item and second it, I was just wondering if there's any public comment?
If anyone is on Zoom, please raise your hand. Seeing none.
Thank you. So I'd like to get a motion to move this item in a second.
I move that we approve this item as recommended by staff.
Okay, I second it.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
On the motion by Vice President Suddeth and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve regular calendar
Adopt.
item 4. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 5, to approve a request for Director Alvarado to attend the ACWA 2025 Fall Conference in San Diego, California in December 2025. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on item 5, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you. Director Alvarado, could you please provide us with information regarding your attendance at the conference?
Sure, I mean, this is attendance for the Aqua Conference and a fall conference in San Diego. Very informative information that I receive at these conferences, training, as well as networking with leaders there in the water industry. So I'm looking forward to going back. Thank you.
Great. So are there any questions or comments from the board members?
No, but I'll
No.
move it. I'll move the item.
No questions, but Vice President Suddeth says she'll move the item.
Second it?
Yeah,
You hear?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Madam Clerk?
On the motion by Vice President Suddeth and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve regular calendar item 5, those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can go the next time.
Next on the agenda is other business, item 6, reports from staff, general manager, and general counsel. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on item 6, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
So any questions or comments from the board? No?
Do you have any reports, general counsel? I was on vacation.
There's your report.
Yeah. Michael, is there anything from the past couple of weeks since the last board meeting that we'd want to report out, just mention to the board? I don't believe there's anything that was specific. Okay. Michael, of course, was acting in the absence.
That's
why I
my
asked him.
favorite kind of report.
Okay,
Thank you, Michael.
so I guess we're moving on to 7 then.
Yes, we are.
Let's go.
The final item on the agenda is item 7, director's comments, meeting reports. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on this item, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
All right. So I guess we'll say, as a reminder, directors will report on meetings that they have attended for which they are seeking reimbursement or compensation from WCW and other matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of the agency. Director Wiener.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since our last meeting on October 15th, I met with our general manager. I attended the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Committee meeting. I also watched a meeting of the Northeast Recycling Council's webinar, Co-Digestion of Food Waste at Wastewater Treatment Facilities, Leveraging Existing Infrastructure for Organics Diversion. This was an excellent presentation, and I have the links to the recording of the meeting if anybody's interested. I attended the El Sobrante Chamber of Commerce meeting and the Richmond City Council meeting last night.
All right, thank you. Director King Meredith?
Thank you, President Ratila. Yes, the last time since our last board meeting, I had the opportunity to participate in the Shoreline Networking Cruise that took place on October 24th, and saw a lot of individuals that I hadn't saw before. I didn't have to walk all over the ship. They came to me and came to Director Alvarado. And sorry, I didn't get a chance to sit with you, President Matila, but that would have been a problem. But anyway, got a chance to network as being seated at the Shoreline Cruise. Also, we had a special financial administrative committee meeting that took place on October the 30th. There was PLA presentation update. And then November the 3rd, this week, San Pablo City Council by Zoom was very interesting. It was a lot of proclamations that went on there. November the 4th, the Board of Supervisor meeting, it was lengthy. It was at least 4 hours, but in between they had a break. And they had a wonderful veterans program. I hope that you all would possibly go online and look at it. It was very good, well put together, one of the best ones they've ever had since I've been participating and attending their celebration. And then last night, Richmond City Council meeting, again, for Supervisor Joya mentioning the $21 million that they have in place for the individuals of their hardship of not being able to get their SNAPs at this place. And it's only going to last them for 4 months, but, it's a start, at this point, for individuals to be able to, families to be able to go out and get food at this point. So that was reiterated at the City Council, San Pablo City Council. He was there, and also the Board of Supervisors meeting. They had a very even with Congressman DeSagne came out and he spoke, and also our senator, he was there also in support to really have this to happen to take care of these families that are in need. So that was about it for now. And have I forgot anything? I probably have at this point, but I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Alvarado.
Okay, since the last board meeting, I attended the October 20th San Pablo Council meeting via Zoom. And there was a presentation, the main thing was a presentation update by the Contra Costa County Fire Protection District. I also, as Director King Meredith stated, attended the Shoreline Cruise on October 24th. On May 3rd, I attended the San Pablo Council meeting as well via Zoom, and there was a presentation and update by Senator Jesse Aragon on legislative policies, recent accomplishments, and opportunities for collaboration with the City of San Pablo. And I also attended the Board of Supervisors meeting via Zoom. I won't go over all the stuff that was already mentioned by Director King Meredith, and thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Sudduth.
Thank you. I also attended the co-digestion webinar and 2 other CSDA trainings last month, and as well as a CSDA training yesterday. If you haven't signed up, they have several trainings this month and next month. You should go online. They've got a lot of them. They're just webinars. They have some in person, but they have a lot online. I attended our CS Contra Costa Special Districts meeting and the Alameda County Special Districts meeting. Board of Supervisors, 3 meetings, 3 COWF meetings, 3 WELL meetings, Latinos in Water. Our F&A committee meeting, our Congressman Garamendi's town hall, Congressman DeSaulnier's town hall, and where he specifically talked about TWIC, which is Transportation, Water, and Infrastructure. I believe that's the one you were referring to, Director King Meredith.
Yep.
And Senator Aragon's town hall meeting where he also talked about TWIC, Transportation, Water, and Infrastructure, and our Board of Supervisors meeting yesterday, as well as our Well Untapped Network retreat last month. Oh, and I gave a STEM presentation to a group of students. That's it. Es todo.
Thank you. For me, we had an RNCC meeting on the 20th of October. We introduced our new school superintendent, Cheryl Cotton, to the neighborhood councils. Our prayers are out for the teachers union, the school district, and our new superintendent. It's going to be a tough ride. They're financially, they're not doing so well. They're underwater, and keep our prayers for them. Also, I want to thank Kate and West County Wastewater for their contribution, bags of candy for the Hilltop Community Church for our trunk or treat. The kids, there were, I don't know, 300 kids there. It was awesome. Also attended the city council meeting. They talked about RPD and their updating their radios. And then next week, I also wanted to thank Raleigh Butler, Aaron Weiner, and our staff that attended the boat cruise. It was great, well attended. We showed out. It was really a nice trip. Thanks again, Council of Industries. And then we did have a DJ out here for voting yesterday. So Prop 50 passed. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. And then next week at the RNCC meeting on Monday, November 10th, we have Contra Costa District Attorney Diana Beckton coming in, and the City of Richmond departments will be giving staff reports. And that is it for me. Thank you.
I have one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes?
Yeah. I have one more, and I also have an agenda item before we go. So I also did participate with East Bay Mud. They had an activity with the Oakland Roots on the Imagine a Day Without Water. So if you get a chance, go on to the site so you can see how much fun that was for a lot of, especially the children trying to imagine what it's like. And for the public, Imagine a Day Without Water is part of the national campaign that calls attention to water's role, its essential role in our daily lives, and the importance of investing in water infrastructure. The Oakland Roots champions they wanted to show how different life would be without water and why clean, reliable water and water infrastructure is worth protecting. So the East Bay Mud teamed with them to illustrate that point in real life. The second thing is I can bring that up here, right, Ms. Nicole, about the December date? No, we're gonna bring that forward at the next. It's the next meeting? Okay. Then I don't have an agenda item. I take it back.
Okay, so we'll move on to Madam Clerk. Any announcements?
The next regular meeting of the board is November 19th at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you. And before we close this meeting, Vice President Sereth has a few words she'd like to say before we close the meeting.
Thank you. For those of you who do not know, one of our fellow water colleagues passed away about a week, almost 10 days ago. Director Bill Patterson retired from East Bay Mud this past December after serving for 20 years, almost 25 years on East Bay Mud's board. He was, William Patterson. He also served with me on California African American Water Education Foundation. He was one of the founding members. He was a longtime public servant outside of East Bay Mud. I know Robin, you know Mr. Patterson well. But he was a unwavering, devoted, and committed champion of the East Bay. He was a man of incredulous distinction and integrity and compassion. He kept serving the Bay, particularly the East Bay, even through his own health challenges. And an incredibly thoughtful man, a leader and mentor, totally committed to not just public service, but public health and environmental stewardship and equity. He joined the board in 1997. And then when he retired, he left a legacy, not just on East Bay Mud, but in the water industry. And so I just wanted to make sure that we gave him his proper due, especially given our West County Wastewater's relationship with East Bay Mud. Not only is it nice to do that, sometimes I think it's nicer to do that when people are living. But job well done, Mr. Patterson. Es todo. Gracias for the time.
Thank you. Well, that being said, I'd like to close this meeting tonight, November 5th, 7:35, in memory of Mr. Patterson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next meeting. Don't go away. Yep. This one's going to be 3 hours long.
I know about another meeting.
I didn't even know about it.